The Truth Hurts, Part 12, a Miraculous Ladybug Fanfiction. If you have not heard the previous 11 parts of this story, you can find a link to them in the description box below. If you haven't already, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and comment down below in support of more fanfiction. Adrien had a lot on his mind. Marinette liked him. Even if she wasn't Ladybug, that was still a lot to process. Unlike other people who liked him, she'd spent enough time listening to him to see past the things like his father's company and the modeling career to see him as he was. Most of the time. She did tend to fangirl every now and then, but she also wanted to be designer so he could understand. And he understood what she meant earlier. If Adrien didn't exist, then Ladybug probably would have fallen for Cat Noir. It was the same for him. If Ladybug didn't exist, then would he and Marinette be in a relationship? The question made him ponder his feelings a bit more. If he liked Marinette, would he have shown her that he was Cat Noir? It would be an accident that she was also Ladybug. What were the chances, after all? There were millions of people in Paris and thousands of love-struck teenagers. He didn't want to think anymore. He just wanted a nap. And a cheeseburger. Nothing beats a good nap and a quality cheeseburger. Another day passed, and he didn't have an answer. Then another, and another. Soon enough, a week went by, and Adrien still couldn't put his feelings together. It wasn't like he hadn't seen her. There'd been 4 Akuma victims and, of course, school. But they didn't talk about what happened between them. On the contrary, they talked about everything but what happened. It was awkward and comforting at the same time. How long would they continue like this? Who would break first? Did he accidentally get all the power in the conversation between them? Adrien didn't want to do that to her. Marinette deserved better. So, Cat, Ladybug said, watching his ring beep. They'd just cleansed an Akuma, but it was only the 2 of them this time. No other miraculous holders needed. Yeah? His heart skipped a beat. He waited too long, and now she was going to bring it up. What should he do? What should he say? I think we should give Master Fu a visit soon. I'm sure your Kwame would appreciate seeing his friends, after all. Cat didn't mean to laugh, but it was his only reaction. As he chuckled at her comment, Ladybug's expression twisted into confusion. Sorry, Cat said. I don't know why I'm laughing. It's not funny, I swear, but... Another round of laughs burst through. Are you okay? He shook his head. Maybe it's just stress. Sorry. I know this isn't appropriate, but that's not at all what I thought you'd say. He glanced over to her, biting back a smile, but as soon as their eyes met, she started laughing, which launched him into the second round of giggles. Oh, no! Ladybug exclaimed, wiping a tear from her eye. I'm infected! He heard her earrings beep a final warning and tensed up. You should go. Cat, it's okay, Ladybug said. She sat down and shot him a smile. You already know who I am, and there's no one around. His eyes widened in surprise. Oh yeah, that's right. They don't have to split up after an Akuma fight anymore. His transformation flickered off as he thought about it, leaving him stunned in front of Ladybug. A moment later, Marinette joined him, shrugging like an American before pulling out her phone. Are you busy? She asked. I need to get something sweet for Tiki to eat. Yeah, No! I'm not. I should get something for Plague too, I guess. Great. Where to? Together? Might as well. Another wave of, wow, she's so mature, hit Adrien before he noticed her shaking fingers. She was nervous. Guilt swept over him, a reminder that he needed to answer her confession and step up his game. Tell you what, he said, without thinking it through. How about we make it a date? You, me, and the Kwame can go to a sandwich shop or something. They sell cookies there, right? Her eyes widened, giving away her surprise as her voice remained calm but tight. Well, sure. That sounds great. Good. Yeah, that sounds good. He bit his lip to keep a straight face. She was cute. She was insanely cute. How had he not seen this before? Her reaction, her mannerisms, all of it. How could he get mad when she was just so... It was as though she never broke his heart in the first place, like a cauterized laceration preventing him from bleeding out. They slid into a booth after ordering sandwiches together, only to find themselves weighed down by silence and small talk. How had they had conversations before? There was too much stuttering between them about school and the weather. This was more awkward than making eye contact on the roof. Great. Adrien wasn't capable of taking her on a proper date. Good to know. So, he began, hoping to change the subject of how many pictures of tomatoes were in the deli when his phone dinged. It was the lady blog. Whoa, Marinette said under her breath. He looked up to see her staring at her phone. Lady blog? Yeah. She sure got it wrong, didn't she? After a long pause, Marinette laughed. Yeah, she said. You'd think someone who's used Miraculouses and knows everyone's identity would know a little better than to post something like this. Adrien rolled his eyes, swiping left to dismiss the Lady Blog's headline of, Are there hidden Miraculouses in Antarctica? A comment by Rena Rouge leads to suspicion. That, and I'm surprised she stooped to that kind of clickbait. She's saving for a new camera, and it's the end of the month. How are those related? AdSense payment cycle. Oh. Do you remember that YouTuber that got akumatized? Oh, the one who spent a lot of time on a video, but all of her comments were asking her for longer parts and updates of other stuff without regarding the work she just did? Yeah, what was her power again? I honestly can't remember, but it can't be as crazy as Mr. Lollipop. What about the fish dude? The fish dude! Adrien cracked up at the thought. Honestly, it was worth missing lunch to see Chloe grow gills. Ugh, my hair! Marinette exclaimed, mimicking Chloe. Or the guy whose toilet paper was too rough, so he turned everything he touched into sandpaper. It took a long time to figure out that akumatization. Man, we've sure dealt with some crazy stuff. Right? She grinned ear to ear as she shook her head at the thought. Adrien noticed the awkwardness dissipated between them. Huh. That's right. That was their common link. Not that they were classmates, and not that they were partners, but the mixture of those two lives. Hey, he said, standing up and reaching out his hand. Can I take you somewhere? Sure? Fluttersome Marinette was back, but took his hand all the same. Great! He led her outside to the alley and transformed, sweeping his arm under her legs to pick her up. Cat? I can transform too, you know. Too late. I've already committed, he said, adjusting his grip. Let's go. He took her to the top of his father's mansion, sidestepping security as he made his way through. You have a nice view, Marinette said, looking over the skyline. Yeah, well, he shrugged. That's not what's important. Then why are we here? He stretched upward before falling back on the rooftop. I liked today. The small talk? She sat down next to him. Getting more comfortable in this new dynamic with you. What do you mean? He looked up to see her hovering slightly over him. Well, he began, things can't go back to the way they were. What's done is done, right? The same applies to the relationship between you and me. I can't tell you if I want to date you or not, because it wouldn't be going from something we had to something new. We'd skip the step that we're in right now. I'm not following, Cat. He rolled onto his side, head propped up by a hand. Listen, I can't say, yeah, I'll date you right now. Cat noticed her face stiffen. But I don't want to say no, either. Okay. She seemed uncertain. Should he de-transform before continuing? May as well. Once the light dissipated, he continued. And I don't mean that to string you along. I don't. I mean, I don't want to skip steps. Let me take you on dates, okay? I can't say it'll end with us dating, but I sure hope it will. Her eyes widened, but she didn't respond. Does that sound okay? Marinette kept looking at him, somewhat dumbfounded. Marinette? He was starting to get worried. Was she upset with his proposal? Yes! She exclaimed, causing him to jump. Yes, okay, that's good. That sounds good. I'll take it. Yeah. That sounds like the sensible thing to do. Yeah, of course. You okay? Yeah, she sighed, pressing a hand to her forehead. It's just easier to keep my cool when you're Cat Noir, that's all. Adrien could only laugh at her response. That's fair. That's why I wanted to take you as Marinette, because I'd probably freeze up if I said all this to your mask. That's ridiculous, but I understand. So it's a yes, then? Yeah. It's a yes. Good. A smile, and not a painted one, made its way onto his face, and he reached for her hand, giving it a little squeeze before letting go and standing up. So, I'll see you tomorrow? We can stay after school to get some homework done over an early supper? Unless an Akuma hits before then. Her smile matched his, soft and almost a kind-eyed smirk. Take me back down? He asked. Spots on. The two of them landed gracefully at the front gates before Adrien noticed the paparazzi. Oh dear. Shots of him and Ladybug would land the headlines tomorrow, and his father wouldn't be pleased. Then again, whatever they'd write was sure to get twisted, and he knew that, so why did it matter? They knew the truth, and that was that. Only what happened between the two of them had power over him. See you tomorrow, he said, planting a peck on Ladybug's cheek. Get home safe. Yeah, you too. Have a good night, Ladybug said. Adrien sighed in happy defeat as she zipped away, quite pleased with how the day went. Retreating inside, he sat down at his desk to plan some future dates with her. If he were lucky, he'd be more enamored with her than anyone had ever been in a lifetime, but he was getting ahead of himself. For now, Adrien stuck to what he knew: dates, ice cream, and the ever-consistent promise that Hawkmoth would turn someone into a victim. It's what got him this far, so why change it? Adrien was, for the first time in a month, content with his life and relationships, and he intended to keep it that way while being as honest as he could be. It's his honesty that led him to this contentment, after all, and most truth ends up being told for the better. Or, at least, it did for him. Thank you so much for listening. This concludes the series The Truth Hurts. If you'd like to check out more fanfiction, make sure to click on these playlists. I'll catch you next time.